Hello, this is Brent Johnson, reference librarian at Widener University Legal Information Center, and this screencast is going to discuss electronic citators, both the Shepard citator service through LexisNexis, as well as the KeyCite citator service through Westlaw.com. What is it you're doing when you use a citator service? You're basically getting a list of citations, a list of references to your legal authority. Typically, you're going to citate a case, but you can also citate statutes, court rules, regulations, and certain secondary sources such as law reviews as well. What are you going to get with this list of citations? It'll tell you primarily one of two things. First off, historical treatment, so you'll get a list of the history for your case or statute, so you'll see if your case has been overruled, or your statute's been superseded, and then also citation lists of more of an analytical nature, so other decisions that are relied upon your legal authority. Why do you want to use a citator service? First off, you want to use it to make sure that the case you're relying on is still good law. Second, you want to scan the citations to your authority to see the precedential value of your case, whether it's been eroded over time so it's not as strong as it used to be on your point of law that you're using it for, or whatever. And then finally, you can use a citator as a finding tool. You can use these list of citations to your authority to find other cases that might be on point, as well as maybe to access secondary legal sources that would further broaden your research. So we'll start out with LexisNexis' Shepards. LexisNexis Shepards. When you pull up a document in LexisNexis, you can click on the Shepardized link. So I'm going to pull up a case that I might want to use. So I'm going to type in a citation. And I'll click Go to pull up the document. This citation is for Moore v. Dahlberg. It's dealing with primarily a civil procedure issue, how a court handles default judgments, whether that they can override them. You'll notice here up at the top of the screen a red stop sign warning me that there's negative treatment. So that right off the bat warns me that I probably need to click on the Shepardized link in my document. And then it'll drop me into the Shepard's link, into the Shepard's list. LexisNexis, they arrange their citing references by, first off, the history of the case, so prior history followed by subsequent history, and then by jurisdiction. First federal court cases followed by state court cases. At the bottom of the citing list is the legend, so you can see what all of these different symbols mean. I'll click on the overruled link, so it's warning me that Moore has been overruled by the McElroy case here. The reference to the LexisNexis headnote, McElroy is dealing with the headnote 1 in Moore. So I'm going to click on the page 401 link, which will drop me into the McElroy opinion, where it discusses the Moore v. Dahlberg case. Basically, they're saying that the court in Moore applied the incorrect way of interpreting Rule 74.05, how you determine abuse of discretion when talking about setting aside default judgments. So if I was going to use the Moore case in regards to the default judgment issue, I might not want to use Moore. I might want to find another case. In the Shepard's list here, you can restrict your list to negative cases, positive cases, or you can focus it more narrowly by treatment, by jurisdiction, and the like. With only 11 citing references, there's really not much need to focus. I'm going to find us another case that might have a little more robust list. So I'm going to go find Roe v. Wade, 410 U.S. 113. I'm going to Shepardize Roe. Click Go. I'm suspecting that there's going to be a little more robust list of citing references. and we'll see what we come up with. And sure enough, almost 14,000 total citing references to Roe, from opinions that have overruled it partly, to questioning the Roe decision, to criticizing it, 200 cases that followed Roe, and then also other sources as well. Law reviews that have discussed it, secondary sources that have discussed it, and then finally at the end, almost 1,000 court documents, so case briefs and annotations dealing with citing Roe v. Wade. So as you can see, 14,000 cites. I probably want to focus my results list a little bit, so I'm going to click on the focus link. I can focus by treatment of the case, positive or negative, whether it was overruled, criticized, and the like. I can focus by court jurisdiction. So in this case, I'm going to focus to how the Third Circuit Court of Appeals and my Pennsylvania state cases have analyzed it, as well as maybe I'm only interested in a very narrow issue of law that Roe dealt with. So I'm going to click on my headnote link here, scan the headnotes, and maybe in this instance I'm only interested in the mootness issue discussed in headnote 3. I'm not interested in the entire Roe opinion, just the mootness issue. So I'm going to also focus by that narrow issue of law, and hopefully this will trim my my Shepard site list into more manageable. And yes, it did. 14,000 citing links have been now pared down to 55.